Yeah, I was as shocked as you to see Assassination Classroom Episode 3 out today. So, let me dive in and talk about that real quick before I actually get into the review of this episode. So, apparently, Assassination Classroom is on hiatus. For instance, in Japan right now, Episode 3 of Assassination Classroom was canceled. For instance, in Japan, nobody has seen this episode of Assassination Classroom because of the current ongoing problems with ISIS. If you have been actually staying up to date with the news recently, you would know that technically Japan has to worry about 2 hostages that have been taken by ISIS. So, pretty much, in Japan, they canceled Assassination Classroom because of that ordeal, because it was very sensitive. For instance, the topic with knives. Like, it was on Crunchyroll. I saw the article link. It was on Crunchyroll stating that they canceled it in Japan because of the knives, very sensitive to, you know, the overall situation with the hostages. So, that is why this was canceled in Japan. And the reason why we're actually seeing this series right now is because supposedly in Australia, an actual site on Australia has a relationship with Funimation and Japan. They also get, you know, weekly episodes of Assassination Classroom, but they actually got the copy before it was aired in Japan or, you know, Funimation. So technically, the reason why we have an episode of Assassination Classroom this week is because of Australia, pretty much. They released it on their site. So anyways, now that I got that out of the way, I actually want to say something real quick. I pray for whoever's family has been affected by the hostage situation of ISIS. I really do, and I hope everything straightens out today. I really, really do, and I'm definitely going to be sticking to the news later on today. So anyways, talking about this episode of Assassination Classroom. So this episode of Assassination Classroom introduces us to Karma. I think that's how you say his name. His name is literally Karma. So, this character, straight up, I like him. I like Karma a lot. He is definitely, by far, I think, my favorite character. Besides Koro-sensei, Karma is my favorite. Just the overall introduction of this character, not counting last episode, but the introduction in this episode, when he fucks Koro-sensei up, ruins his hand. Oh my god, like, Koro-sensei's face of utter shock. Like, he didn't even realize what happened. Or, when he was walking through, you know, between the desk and his foot got, like, blew off, he's like, oh, he looked pissed. So, to see actually someone best Koro-sensei, I was like, damn, this dude is good. So, I'm really, really invested in seeing if Karma could do something like that again, because his personality has that type of personality that I like when I watch shonen anime, and to see how his personality is perceived in this episode with, you know, being very, I guess, evil. Like, his personality was just straight up evil. Like, he wanted to kill like a teacher. Like, he really wants to kill Koro-sensei because it's a teacher, and he wants to actually kill a teacher. And besides the overall psychotic nature of Karma of wanting to kill his teacher, there's actually a lesson to be learnt with this episode, and that is the beauty of this episode. Like, there is actual morals in this episode I learned, and it has a deep meaning. Behind all the comedy and the psychotic nature of Karma wanting to kill Koro-sensei and Koro-sensei retaliating against him, there was some deep meaning in this, and that's why I actually like this episode, and now I can see why Assassination Classroom is so popular in Japan if it does stuff like this, because the main moral of this episode is that this dude Karma, pretty much, he at one time believed in his sensei. He believed in his human sensei. And when he was going in school, he was kind of a delinquent still, but he believed he was in the right. For instance, he was saving kids from bullies, like, you know, people that were bullying maybe students that were going to Class E. He would actually save these students, and he'd beat the shit out of the people that are being bullies. And technically, from our standpoint, that seems like a good thing. He was doing the good thing. I mean, he should have, you know, contacted teachers, but knowing how teachers are in our days in society, they don't really help jack shit. So, pretty much the dude, he tried to help out his fellow classmates, and which in turn caused this teacher that actually promised Karma earlier on in the episode stated, like, I will always be on your side. If you're in the right, I will be on your side. That's what the teacher said. And technically, Karma was in the right. He helped out a student that was being picked on and bullied on because most likely he was going to Class E. And the thing is this dude right here, that, like, the dude that was bullying, he was actually an intelligent student. He was high up in grades and stuff, and he was a top level student, pretty much. He was a top student. And pretty much Karma beat the shit out of him, which in turn caused Dory might not be able to pass his test because, you know, his hand and everything's busted, so he can't really do tests and stuff, which in turn could hurt the teacher, because as we found out a couple episodes back, if a teacher is hurt with a reputation, for instance, if a student goes to Class E and the teacher was over the student, his reputation as a teacher can also be ruined. So technically, the teacher had a change and shift in personality because karma affected his livelihood, his job, pretty much. And from different, like, you know, perspectives of this, I understand the teacher's point of view, but his overall way of handling it was fucked up, because pretty much he was saying, I don't care if you save, you know, E-class students. Like he says, you know, E-class students can get the shit beat out of them, just don't touch my top-tier students, even if they are in the wrong. And that's fucked up. That is really beyond fucked up, because he was more worried about saving his ass than what was actually really right. And that was the moral of this. Pretty much, no, don't trust, you know, the surface of someone. Like, they say they'll do something, and they might not do it. And that happens a lot in society. And to see something like that, it's kind of sad, because that happens. It really does. I've actually had stuff like that happen to me, and I know how that feels. So, I can really, really relate to this episode of Assassination Classroom, because overall the morals of when you put your faith in someone and they decide to just instead, like, put their job over your very well-being, it's kind of fucked up, and it really hurts your feelings, and that's pretty much what happened. So that's pretty much the episode of Assassination Classroom in a nutshell. I mean, Coral Sensei and Karma got along at the end. You know, the overall suicide method that Karma was trying to do when he fell off the bluff to try to kill Coral Sensei, damn, he has some balls. He has some massive ass balls to do something like that. Like, oh my god. And so, episode. Good. It's fucking good. Assassination Classroom continues to surprise me by the week. I mean, it's so good. It really is. I did not think I would like this series that much. And if the manga is just like this, I'm not joking. I am going to start the manga, because I have not been disappointed yet from this series. And it continues to actually get me more and more hyped by the week. And that's good. That's exactly what an anime should do. Now, I don't know necessarily if they're following the manga properly, because, you know, I'm not a manga reader. If anyone could let me know, I'd be thankful about that. But overall, great. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Love y'all. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.